All right, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Q&A with Alan and Marshall show. I'm Marshall Atkinson.
I'm Alan Howe with Easy Way.
And it's Friday the 13th. And I got to tell you, this whole week, I've been feeling lucky.
It's been a great week.
It is a great week. I've had so much fun this week speaking with people, and I went to a shop earlier this week, and it's been a lot of fun. And I finished the draft on a book, right? And I can't wait for that to get published. And I've been working on lots of stuff,
Right.
But the main thing is every call that I've had this week has just been really super positive. It's so fun to hear from people.
Yep, exactly.
Everybody's busy. Everybody's got problems with how they're busy, and working through those process challenges with them was lots of fun. Mm-hmm. But I got to tell you, it's been a good week. And here it is, Friday the 13th. And I almost wore black today, but I said, screw it, I'm wearing red.
I didn't even realize it was Friday the 13th, and I usually wear black shirts, but I had a gray one available, so I grabbed it.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Oh well. Cool. And it is a great week. It's I was just telling Marshall, as I was telling you earlier, we have went to Michigan from 2 weeks ago where it's raining to it's 85. It's gorgeous out. I'm here in my office. I have the window open. So if nice week. And then I was traveling around, just great weather. So I'm loving this time of the year.
Yeah, it's just awesome. So just to start the show off, right? We would love it if you're watching to please say hello. Where are you watching from? What's going on? And just as a reminder, this is a Q&A show, meaning we need your questions. Absolutely. Also, if you've got an answer for somebody, we would love it if you would chime in, because that's what we're all about, right? And
absolutely.
And also, if you could do us a favor and just share that you're watching the show, that really helps us get a bigger audience, and we're all about that. And also, don't forget, if you're watching this as a recording, because I know a lot of people do that, to make sure, just drop us a note, say hi or whatever. And if you're listening to the podcast, do the same thing. We would love to hear from you if that's going on. So let's say hello to some folks. What do you think?
Absolutely.
So Mike from California is in.
How you doing, Michael?
Good morning. And then our buddy Mark's here.
Mr. Saldonic.
Who evidently has the #1 Jeep in the entire state of Texas. Every other day, he's got some monster trophy he's showing off. And I love his last one, which is the whole thing was built out of Budweiser bottles. I thought that was really cool.
Only in Texas.
How come they weren't Lone Star bottles? That's what I want to know.
Exactly.
And William's here. Hey, y'all. Peter's here from Port Huron. Good to see you.
Right on the water. It's a great time of the year to be in Port Huron.
David's here. Good morning, Dave.
Dave, it was good talking to you this week.
From New Mexico. And Charles. Cindy's here. Good morning, Cindy. Glenn's here, watching from Australia as always. Good to see you, Glenn.
Glenn, how you doing from down under? Hey, where in Australia are you, Glenn?
And what time is it in Australia? That's what I want to know. It's like tomorrow there, right?
It's if I remember, I was there in '99, and I want to say it's 14 hours difference.
Yeah, 14 hours ahead.
Yeah.
Right. So, like for me, it's
Friday.
It's 9 o'clock on a Friday. For him, it's probably like Saturday afternoon or something, right?
It's probably Saturday. Yeah, because it's in the Philippines. It's 12 midnight, and it's 12 midnight in the Philippines right now.
Yeah. Where you're going? When are you flying out for that?
I am flying out May 24th.
Yeah.
And I will try to log in at midnight and see if we can't get in.
Well, hopefully you get in. We're going to have some guest hosts lined up just in case there's a Alan Howe problem. And but that's going to be fun.
So next week, because this is my first international travel since COVID, I've been Perth. I've not been to Perth. He is in Western Australia. So very nice. It's 12 noon Saturday. It's literally 24 hours almost.
12 noon in the morning.
AM. It's 12 a.m. Okay.
Glenn's up late.
Wow.
So thanks for staying up for the show, Glenn.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
But yeah, so I forget what I was saying on there.
You're
But yeah,
talking about going to the Philippines.
yeah. So next week I'm going to be traveling around Michigan. I'm going to try to stay away because you have to do a COVID negative test before you get on the plane. And I'm going to make sure I don't test even remotely positive.
Right.
So I've not, you know me, I've not been real afraid and everything traveling around. But I've been waiting for this trip for so long.
Yeah.
I don't want to breathe on anybody or be near anybody.
And you're going down for your friend's son's wedding, right?
His sister's
wedding.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is these are people that I met when I was a short-term missionary. Mark was 10 years old. I was a basketball player and he followed me around and we stayed in touch. And I am like now I've been his older brother for the past almost 30 years. His dad was a serviceman and not home. So I was his pen pal brother. And their family has adopted me. And last time I was there was for Mark's wedding. He is now 39 years old. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. I have
from my brother, I got COVID at a wedding.
Tim, I heard you gave COVID as a gift for the wedding.
Tim is the super spreader. Come on.
He is a super spreader. So, but I am looking forward to being in the Philippines. Don't be surprised if I have what are called my nephews now. I was told that they're going to want to be on video with me. Marshall said so.
This is a formal show. Come on.
Yeah. I'm going to make them just say everything in Cebuano, so I don't even know what they'll say.
Yeah, who knows? All right, so let's pay some bills, and then let's get into some topics. What do you think?
Absolutely.
All right, so here's our favorite dance tune. You know, I just realized how incredibly loud my speaker was set to.
Mine too. My ears are bleeding. Mine also. You know what? Yeah, we need to check. We're supposed to be getting a new video.
Yeah, what's going on with that? I know Mark's watching. Can you find out what's up with that?
Mark, check into that and report to us in an hour, please.
Yeah, like he has nothing else to do. So,
I'll send you right there. He just replied.
I have to get to marketing. I'll send you the new video. There you go.
Thank you. Way to go.
Hey, you know, we ask, and it's how high do you want me to jump? I love that, right?
Yeah, and not with Mark, but I appreciate it. We laugh and tease him.
So Hurley's here. Good morning. Good seeing him
Chris.
last week. And by the way, if you missed that episode, go back and watch it, especially if you're into special effects printing, because he's talking about some high density stuff he did where he actually printed a Lego board on a t-shirt that works and you can put Legos on it. It's amazing. So
it was a great, it was a great show. It was a fun show. And Chris, you did a great job. You know what? Richard Greaves and I were talking this week. He called me and he mentioned and said, Chris, just take this as a compliment. How well spoken, how much he loved that you were testing. And you know that you hit Richard's buttons right there. He loved it. So
he didn't talk about 2-second lean once though.
He didn't at all. So Richard will have to educate him. But yeah, it was a great show. So
Charles says, I've learned to turn my speakers way down when it's time to pay the bills.
See, he's learned that. We haven't.
And Dan's here. Hey, good morning, Dan.
Dan, are you back in the States or are you in the UK right now?
Yeah, I think he's still in Wales. I'm not sure.
I think so.
All right. Hey, well, let's get to our first topic. And I think this is an important one because it's come up several times this week. And it's really about the value that you bring. And I think a lot of times, and we're in business, we're always focused on the competition. We're always focused on pricing, as you should be. And you see this all the time, especially in the groups, price check 500 of whatever shirt it is,
Go
with whatever
nuts.
the colors or whatever. And when I see that, I always cringe, because these people don't know how to run their business. And they're posting on Facebook about how to get a price check. And what's amazing to me is that all these other people give whatever they do. But here's what I got to tell you is every shop is different. Their pricing is different. Their costs are different. They have different number of employees and overhead and equipment payments and all this other stuff. Plus, they're in different markets.
Yep.
You know, you might sell to one type of market, another person might sell to a different type of market. And yeah, you can get around about stuff. But what people really need to understand is your pricing needs to be based on the value that you bring to your market. That's the number one thing.
Yep.
So of course you have to know your costs, right? And that's how you determine if you're profitable, right? But your pricing needs to be based on the value that you have. And if you can't articulate your value, you know, what happens is you start dropping your price and to get the order, because you can't articulate your better value. And so it's really important, I think, for everybody to understand just what is it? Why should anybody buy from you? Is it because you have better artwork? You've got better turn times? You deliver? You know, what service is it about you? Service. What is it about you that makes you special? What is unique about you, right? Any idiot out there can go print a shirt or embroider a polo, right? Right. And so if you want to be treated like a commodity, don't bring any value. Right. And the people that bring value, they're the ones who can that have people lined up around the block for them at, you know, higher prices than other people. And that's because their customers are aligned with the value that you bring. So I just want to kind of throw that out there, because I've heard from numerous people this week about this type of topic, and I want to just throw that out there. What do you think about that, Alan?
Well, you know what? You can buy from, especially in today's market, if you're looking for just a price, you can buy from anywhere. And I run into this, you know, with printers and with dealers. Easy Way is not the only chemical company out there. We all know that. Do I think we're good?
What? You're not the only one?
We are. We think we are. We are the one we should be. But you know what? We're not the only one. But you know what? We have a premium product. Yeah. And what comes to it, I have had people tell me I can buy this or I can buy something else cheaper. Really? Then why are you calling me? And I've actually had to have this conversation. Well, because my other distributor doesn't help me. Huh. Well, you know, I'm not free. Easy Way pays me. They pay me well. And that is a value that comes with that.
Right.
And I have cut people off going, you're going to have to talk to them. You know what the problem is? I do. Good luck. Go on a Facebook page. There is value to that. I am not cheap.
Right. Right.
You can buy from anybody. You want to buy Easy Way from our dealer, Raw Tech, and if they're going to give you a better price than someone else, fine. By the way, then get it from them. Raw Tech would be happy to take that business. Raw Tech, by the way, is in Sydney, Australia. If you want to pay the freight and give you a better price, it's going to take 6 weeks. And that's not, Raw Tech is an incredible dealer for us in Australia. But I use that because of how the distance. You can buy from anybody online.
Yeah, sure.
But what happens, where's the value at? And in COVID, we found this. Where's the value at when things got there? So,
so if you're watching this right now, can you drop a comment about how you add value to what you do, and kind of maybe, you know, don't have to share your pricing, but what is that worth to you? Is that a couple percentage points on what you do, you know, in relation to whatever your market is? We're just really curious about that. And then also, how are you delivering on that value? You know, how do you make it easy and frictionless for your customers to do business with you? I think, you know, in these days, this could be with an online store, or maybe you have sales reps, or maybe you have some other thing that you do that helps everybody get in line with what you offer. And I think that would be kind of a fun discussion here.
I think service is big, especially with today. If you are doing your homework and you're being upfront with them on goods, where you're getting them from, and when you can have it on time. There are people saying, yeah, I've ordered from these other people, but they're not, they're always late. I never know when they're going to be done. When something's like that, when you say,
right,
here's your date, if there's a problem, I'll call you, and you do it. But then they go, yeah, but you're twice as much, or you're 20% higher. Really? I can go below their price, but can I be twice as late? And I've done that. Well, I can get XYZ product
twice as late. Yeah, you'll get it in September.
I've done a demo and had people go, that is amazing, but man, your cost is just way more. I go, I can, if I can make a product, make a lower price product, would you be interested? He goes, yeah. I go, can it work way worse than what you're using then? Well, no. Oh, okay. So, yeah.
Right. So,
and I have no problem telling people that sometimes we just have to be reminded, why are you looking?
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, I think, it's one of these things where we want to ask more questions with our customers and really kind of dig into what they're looking for. What's important? What's important to you? Is being on time important, or is it a low price is important, or is it a high quality product important? Where are you with that? And and here's the other thing is there's always people, right, that don't care about any of that, right? So, and just put it in other industries, right? Think about, a Mercedes-Benz, right? Or a BMW or a Lexus or whatever, right? Those cars aren't for everybody, but there's plenty of people that will buy them. And so who are you? Your customers are who? Are you trying to sell to the 15-year-old used Chevy people? Okay. Well, those people will never buy a brand new Mercedes.
Right.
Right. Hey, so think about your processes and what you're trying to deliver, right? Where are you on that spectrum? Yeah. Right. Are you trying to appeal to the tire kicker cheap people, or you're trying to appeal to the super high end folks, right? Or maybe it's somebody in the middle, right? So it's really about knowing your place and how you do things, and like being, your value to your customers based on what, right?
And know your market too. You don't have to sell for everybody. Like you said, using the car analogy, there are for Lexus, there are Lexuses, there are BMWs, there are Escalades. You know what? There are also Ford Festivas. I'm not going to get one. I can't fit in one. Can you fit in one, Mark? I'm 6'3", and I'm almost 6'3". Marshall's 6'12".
6'12" is 7 feet.
I know.
So I don't think I'm 7 feet. Actually, I'm a half-inch smaller than I used to be.
I actually
used to be 6'5", and to the delight of my son, I'm now 6'4.5".
Yeah, that happens with age. I was just under 6'3", and now I'm almost an inch. I'm just about 6'2".
Yeah. So I don't think I'm fitting in a Festiva.
Yeah, but there was a market. There was a market for Ford Festivas.
Oh, sure.
I drive a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Yeah, tiny Jeep people.
Yeah, well, not tiny Jeep people. Yeah, Ford Festivas are first.
That's what I mean.
Ford Festiva, clown cars is what they are. Hey, 25 people in them.
Yeah, right. So, all right. So some comments here. Josh is watching. Good morning, Josh.
Yep.
And by the way, he's got a really nice beard.
He said that's his value. He has the cool beard. And there is, I think the beard factor might work with some people. I don't know.
Hurley says he stacks.
He stacks. He does. But you know what? Right there. He stacks. He does high density. Nobody else around him does high density.
Right.
Nobody can. You know what? Special effects. Can they do foil? Can they do simple things like that?
Yeah. Cindy is selling on her personality.
That is it. Yes. But you know what? There's a little bit of that. What do we always say, Marshall? Why do people buy? Know, like, trust.
Yeah, right.
And then buy.
Yeah, know, like, trust, buy.
Yep.
So Hurley says you don't just get a product, you get a wonderful customer experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what is your customer experience like?
Yep.
Have you built a process map for that? That's interesting.
Yeah, very good.
Ghosta says he's driving, So good to see you or hear from you, or how are you
How you
listening to
doing?
this? So
Yep.
interesting. Sean says, good afternoon. By the way, Sean is going to be our first guest host for the Alan Howe Filipino tour.
Yep.
And what day is that? That's the 24th. What is that?
No, I leave on the 24th. It's the 27th,
No, it's
I think.
the 27th, the Friday. Yep. So we'll see him there. That's going to be fun.
Sean, thank you for sitting in, and have fun with it. You'll do great.
And Sean's out of Alpharetta, Georgia.
Yep.
So
little north of Atlanta. Yep.
Yeah, right. So anyway, so I think, just keeping on this topic, I think everybody here, I think everybody does a pretty good job with producing the work that we do. I don't think that's ever been an issue much. The problem, I think, sometimes is people don't understand their value and how they fit, and they haven't really built a process or any thinking or anything with that. And then so that's something that you might want to just kind of noodle around with. Where do you fit in with your customers, and what are they really looking for, and what problems are you solving, and all that. And the more that you kind of dig around in that, I think that you're going to find that you do have value with people, and that value is worth maybe a little more than the other shop that's around the corner from you.
Yep.
Because they don't have that same experience or knowledge or whatever, right? So, so Sean says, I have a few weeks to grow a mustache and beard.
It has to be a gray one, though.
That's great.
And I think sometimes people just don't say what their value is. You need to put that out there. We were talking with Chris last week on high density, and part of, as he's getting it out there to market, he has some markets there and letting it out there. But I think to your mass market around you, that sets you apart, and that's all about setting you apart. Marshall, you did an article. I have the questions to ask too for that I still haven't done. I need to turn in today. But you know what? It was on marketing. It was on social media and stuff like that. They sent it to you and me for an article someone's writing. And you know what? Part of this, because it brings value. It brings value to Easy Way. It brings value to you and all that. It keeps us out there. And so, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So you ready for the next topic?
Let's go.
All right. So it's, you must be present to win.
Got to be there.
So you did something this week, Alan, right? Why don't you share what you did and talk about how that worked out for you?
Which one?
Where you went to go see that guy, that shop.
Oh, so a couple weeks ago, I talked about, we were talking about cold calls, and I was in Chicago, and I was seeing a shop, and I always do sometimes the Google thing of screen printers, near me and where I'm at. And there was one that came up, and I'll tell you, the company was called Diamond Screen Process. I didn't know what it was. Screen Process. That got my attention. So I pull up, I go into, I grab catalog, my card, and stuff, and I'm going to do a cold call. My goal is on a cold call is just to find a contact. That's it. There's going to be a receptionist or someone who's the contact. Lady comes out, and I can see by the display, they're a bottle printer. They print containers. They do industrial. Great. So I go there, and I get the card. The president is it. And I am in northern Indiana this week, and I have to go into Chicago just for a few hours to pick up something the next morning. And I called this guy to get an appointment. And he was old school business guy, man. Who are you? What do you do? How can you help me? And I said, well, here's who I am. I left my card and catalog there. Here's what I do. They said, you're the man to talk to. And I was just seeing when I can get an appointment. I'm going to be in the area tomorrow morning. And he goes, and I had an appointment at 9:30. I could have switched. And then I had 11 o'clock video while driving, and I couldn't switch. And he goes, don't switch your 9:30. Can you be here at 7:30, between 7:30 and 8 in the morning? Yeah. Absolutely. So we did. As we got there, he goes, how much time? And he's, very much, what about this? What about this? How much time do you want? So I'm not taking those all that. And I did the sales guy, give me 15 minutes. And all my goal then, I always have these little goals. Is there going to be a fit? And so I'm thinking my questions, I want him to answer what it is. I have my little 30-minute spiel on who EasyWay is. Bam. And we get talking. And you know what? At the end, it was, I'm glad you called. I am still a face-to-face guy. And so today on my goal, I have to send him on a product on there. I got to send him the tech data sheets. And because I told him, I said, by the end of the week, he goes, that's tomorrow. I go, I do. You will have the SDS and tech data sheets. And I will have samples on the way leaving Monday.
Good.
And you have to be present. I like face-to-face still.
Yeah, face-to-face is good. And if you can't physically be there, maybe there's hundreds of miles in between your customer.
Yep.
Get a Zoom call going, right? And I think before COVID, that was much harder. Now it's everybody does it, right? It's pretty common. So, and I like the idea of knowing people, right?
Yep.
And face-to-face, that type of stuff. And I have a podcast, right? And when I recorded a podcast episode this morning, actually, with a shop in Virginia, and I record using Zoom so what we can see each other, even though it's only an audio-only podcast, because I like that relationship where we can see each other because I think it makes the conversation better. The podcast is audio; that's not going to be part of the show. But it just makes everything better because we feel like we're people and we can have a better convo, right? And that's what it's about. And I think also You Must Be Present to Win is about new experiences.
Yep.
Last week, I went to a content creators expo that was here in Phoenix, and it was just incredibly awesome. And I learned a lot, and it's about a lot. I create a lot of content, but it was learning things I didn't have any knowledge about it. I met people from England. I met people from several states. I met a guy from Scotland who plays video games for a living, right? I had a million questions for that guy. He's making 20 grand a month playing video games, right?
Unreal.
His manager was with him, right? It was insane, right? And so it's just about how people do stuff and like opening up and asking questions, like, and you can't do that if you're not there, right? So you got to like physically take the time to do stuff. Later today, I'm going to go have lunch with some industry friends here, and you got to make the time to do that, right? And being present fosters better relationships. It fosters community. It builds better bonds, and if your company, all you do is take orders and POs and all that kind of stuff, and you never see these people, if you're at a trade show or a party or something and you don't even know what they look like, you're so replaceable, right? Because there's no relationship there. There's no engagement, right? That's why I think you really need to get out of your office, go see people, deliver the next order instead of shipping it. And just that type of stuff really, really matters. So,
you know what? And it was great. This guy, was he a little bit more stringent and stuff? Sure. But you know what? He's already buying from a dealer of mine.
Yeah.
He had a couple things that he wanted to talk about. And then he also said, well, if this works well, then we can look about this and this. Nope. He's already thinking ahead. I love it.
Yeah.
So he's reeled in. Now it's on me.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, all right. So Peter's here. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Peter. Welcome back.
And is he back? I guess he is. He's from
Roselle. So he's back. He's back from India. I think he got back a week ago.
Great. And so are you curried out? Did you have your fill of curry while you were there?
I've never been there. I've had friends of mine that have been there and people I know, and they're saying, yeah, it is curry everything. Yeah. He goes, curry milkshakes, curry whatever. And they were being
a curry milkshake?
Well, they were being sarcastic. You don't understand my friends. He goes, I swear it was curry milkshake. It was curry everything.
So Chris here says, in it to win it. That's great.
Yep.
Mark says, Sean just sent you brisket instructions. There's one of my values. Hey,
Yeah.
Mark, you can forward me the brisket instructions also if you want.
You could forward me a brisket.
I just smoked a spatchcock chicken last night, and let me tell you how awesome that was. Oh,
Big rolling papers for that, right? Oh, my bad. Wait.
Yeah. But it was fantastic. So it's all about the rub. It's all about the stuff you put on it. It was great.
So,
and this had, by the way, granulated honey in it. So it was like a smoked honey chicken.
yum.
Right. We couldn't wait to eat it. It was great. So
Marshall, I'd like to know from other people how are you guys present with your customers, or what do you need to be on there? What are you guys doing? Is it all online orders? And I see some, I know the younger crowd, my nephews and stuff, they don't like to talk on the phone. It's all a Snapchat or a text or something like that. And those are great tools. We use them all the time. Yeah. But there is still a time, especially in sales and business, where you've got to be in front. You've got to pick up the phone. It is human to human.
I think what a lot of companies are doing, okay, is they've got an online thing or whatever. They're making experiences for their customers. So they will have, for example, an event. It's an educational event. It's a get together. It's a food thing or music thing, or it's just there's a learning opportunity or whatever. Mm-hmm. And if you're a customer, you're going to get to go to that, right? And that experience is where that bonding comes in, rather than just
right.
Just texting and whatever, right? So you have to open that up. So that's something that in your area, right, you could probably have an open house. Yep. You could have an event. You could sponsor something in the community. Maybe there's a business roundtable that you could sponsor, and then you're doing all the merch for it or something, right? It's just like you just think outside of the box about how you're connecting more with your customers, especially like Alan was saying, if they're more a tech relationship instead of an in-person thing. How can you foster that more?
Yep.
And be different, right? And be engaging and drive that connection. I think that might facilitate a better relationship with your customers.
I think you're right. Everybody has different touch points and different things they need. And there are some clients I have, just text me. And sometimes when I'm driving, I forget, because I don't text a lot when I'm driving. If you get a text from me when I'm driving, I'm probably using voice text, which I use a lot.
Right. Right.
So
here's what's the end of the thing? Hurley says, I'm with Alan, you can just send the brisket. Sean says you should always use people that know more than you. Thanks, Mark.
Yep.
Chris says, oh, he said that twice. How about that?
He wants 2 briskets.
Yeah, 2 briskets for him. William here says, I do free local delivery. I see the delivery as an opportunity to talk about their next order.
Absolutely.
That's great. So do you have a wrapped van and the whole thing, or a pickup truck or something? What do you do? Let us know.
Yep.
Glenn says, would like to hear people's touch points with their customers during the order production process. So you don't receive the phone calls or emails of when is my order ready.
Very good.
I know a lot of the software has an automatic thing that can go out. You just have to set that up. When their order has shipped, it'll send tracking numbers. There's other programs that allow you to build a dashboard for your customer to show you where you are on the steps. I know Shopworks does that. Mm-hmm. It's just really about setting that up for your customers. Oh, I got to sneeze, man.
Oh, you're all right?
Yeah, that
that's right. I have a mask. I have a mask over my microphone, so we're fine.
Yeah. So it's important that you build that and that experience. And what you want more than anything is it's an automated thing. So you don't have to remember to do it. And I think that's important also with your marketing, where you can build a follow-up drip sequence. Like somebody gets an order 2 or 3 days after delivery. Hey, how'd we do? Email goes out. And maybe a week after that, it's like, hey, thanks for everything. Can you leave us a Google review? If they automate that process, then you don't have to remember to do it.
Sure.
All that is basically all about that experience.
Yep. I'm not familiar with that program. Are you, Marshall?
Oh, hold on. Let me find where we are here. So, Glenn says you don't receive the phone calls or emails when the order is ready. Yeah. And he says, I use Shopbox. So Shopbox is a program based in the sign industry. And they have, I know a lot of people that use Shopbox. I'm not personally familiar with it because I've never used it. So you'll need, I believe there's a Shopbox Facebook group. They probably also have customer service. I would ding them and find out how you can do more with your customer experiences using that program. Mm-hmm. I just don't have a personal thing with that, right? Mark says, I do a lot of live video calls with customers on press issues, screen room, whatever. Really helps solve the issues with having to travel to customer shop. We can get answers faster this way and not hold up production. That's fantastic.
I do that also. And we got to remember the tools. While we're saying being present, you're still present doing that because you're solving the problem quickly instead of Mark going, I can be there in 10 days. Let me get a flight, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I do that also. Really, we all have a phone that have cameras and stuff on them. And I'll tell people, and they'll say, I wish you were here. Well, you have a phone, right? Call me on your cell, put it on video, take me back to your screen room, show me what the problem is.
Yeah.
And if it's a tech, I'll just say, stand back, just keep the phone up. I just want to see what your employees are doing without them knowing they're being videoed and watched. Yeah. And then I can usually see, here's where the problem is. It's a process issue.
But I'll also tell you, there's nothing better than being in the shop because I was at a shop yesterday and me being there, I just like, hey, what's going on with that over there? Right. And then we had a whole 20-minute discussion about it. I won't get into the details, but if I'm on a video call, I would have never seen that. Right. And exactly. So it pays to bring people in sometimes because they're just going like something. It was out of the corner of my eye. I saw this thing and I'm like, what's going on with that? And because it was not a good situation. And we're like, I pointed that out and I think they're going to be correcting it soon. So that was really good.
And I agree. And I think where Mark comes in is where I do on the technical side, when there is a problem and we're not holding up production or production compromise for a week. So you got to use the best of both worlds. On the sales side, I love that people are delivering their orders, but on that delivery, so like Ghosta posted there also, he's doing that right now. And on something that far away, if it's a new customer, especially a new customer, and you're the owner or the principal of that company, I would let them know, I am personally delivering your order. I would love to take 5-10 minutes of your time to get to know you and see that and have that set up. Take them to lunch, do whatever, depending on what it is, and really have it set up that it is something special. You're not sending, Mark the copy boy to do this. I am, you're going, I am the principal owner, whatever, and I want to meet you. Thank you for your business, especially on new customers, and build that relationship.
Yeah, right. And he's having an after-work snack.
Absolutely. We love after-work snack.
I'm curious, like in Sweden, what is the after-work snack? What is
would that be a beverage?
What is this? What is the Swedish snack?
And you know what we all want to say here in America, but we're dumb Americans and we're not going to say
we don't know anything. We're stupid.
Yeah.
So Hurley says we stay in touch with our customers through the entire process via text or social media. We also post photos of the job during and when it's complete on our socials so the customer can follow along. That's great unless they don't want you to do that. So make sure if you're going to be doing that, you ask permission before you post on social.
Yeah,
because that can come back and bite you. So
very quickly. Yeah.
Man,
Marshall, and you have an experience on. You just wrote an article.
I write lots of articles. What article are you talking about?
We were talking about on the problem. Better to eat the cookie, not the sandwich.
Yeah.
What was the name of it?
So it's better to eat a shit cookie than a shit sandwich. So sometimes if there is an issue And a lot of people try to weasel out of it or find a way or whatever. It's better just to own up to it and talk to your customer or talk to your employee or talk to your supplier, talk to whoever you have this relationship with, and just say, hey, I goofed up. This is what happened. I want to make it right. It's going to cost money or it's inconvenient or whatever it is. And we're going to have to solve it, because if you let this squirrel out of control, this is where that thing morphs into, you lose the client, you lose the relationship,
Absolutely.
you lose the respect, you get flamed online or whatever, because you didn't take care of business when you should have. And I know we've all been there, right? And I make mistakes all the time. If you want to know what they are, just ask my wife; she'll tell you, right? You need to take control of this stuff, because it'll just come bite you in the butt if you don't, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think it's really important. And this is where, if you solve the problem, I think you gain even more respect with your customer, because you made it right, or it was a better deal, or you owned up to it, or whatever. People appreciate that, because let me tell you, every business has problems. Like, nobody is perfect, right? And so if you take care of it while it's tiny, or it still can be expensive.
Tinier,
right? It's just not as expensive if it grows.
Right. Marshall just locked up. Are you still with me? There you are. Marshall, you there? You're locking up on us.
Oh, I don't know. There's something going on with my internet. Can you see me?
Yep, now I can. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, there's something going on with the internet here in Arizona, and I'm really ticked off about it. So
it's the heat.
It's the heat, not the humidity. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Right. So where are we with our comments? So we did that one. So Augusta says, after work snack.
We did that one.
So Chris says, when Lancer brought us out to Print Specialty Ink, I drove 2.5 hours to take Morgan out for lunch.
That's awesome, but I think it should have been another way around. Morgan needs to take you out to lunch.
I discussed it with my customer prior, and they're ordering, and all of them go for it because of the free advertising and shout outs.
Perfect.
Okay,
Perfect.
Great.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's good. By the way, somebody gave us a frowny face. Who's that?
I don't know. I saw that. Yeah. I saw that.
A frowny face on Facebook. So is Facebook having some issues? What's going on, and why the frowny face? Or did you just click the wrong button? So let us know. We don't want to have angry frowny faces.
And Michael, come on. Is it me or is it Marshall? Come on.
Yeah, because you're wearing a hat. That's what it is.
Well, I'm wearing an Easy Way hat, and because I am getting a haircut after this, later this afternoon. So I'm tired of looking like a wolf man. A Sasquatch.
Right. Yeah. So, and then Hurley says they're technically my customer now and my supplier. There you go.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. We've got 2 more topics. Let's try to get them in. Why don't we talk about the GSG Pulse real quick?
Let's do that.
And so let's share that. So let's get rid of this.
We made a corp. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Alan. I'll operate the thing and you talk. How about that?
Everybody has been busy this week, and usually I get together with Mark Soldonic and we talk about what products we're going to showcase. I was not able to do that. I will take the blame. So we made a corporate decision today, and we're going to feature. I'm not sure what page number these are on.
It's 12.
12. GSG sells Caesar installs HTV, heat transfer vinyl. And now, especially up here in the Midwest, when you're getting into sports and little leagues and things like that, and for numbers and names, these are great products. And right there on page 12, it says Caesar Easy Weed Stretch. I'm going to give my own little.
That's typically 13.
That's 13. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give my opinion on this. This is a great product. When I used to work for a distributor, we sold Easy Weed Stretch. And man, especially with everything with a little stretch on uniforms, it's a little thinner. But if I remember right, it also goes on at a little bit lower temperature, but it has a nice stretch to it. So if you have names and numbers on there, that's something I take a look at. But they have everything. Caesar installs have a great array of HTV and all the accessories with it. So,
yeah, and there's all types of stuff on here. If you want to look through this, this is in the spring, summer pulse.
yep.
And the front cover looks just like this for spring 2022. So anyway, so thanks so much for GSG for sponsoring our show. We really appreciate them. And so try out this product and see if it works for you. And then comment. Come back to us and let us know. That would be great.
Yep.
All right, so let's get to the next topic. If I can hit the right button here, which is all about scheduling. So I was talking with a shop the other day, and they were having some scheduling issues. And like a lot of people, they're really overwhelmed. There's a tidal wave of orders on their floor. They're behind. They're having trouble getting everything out. And so I started talking to them about the scheduling process. And one of the things that I know from working on this for a long time is that you really have to understand your numbers to be able to schedule better. And what I mean by that is you need to know your set. This is in any decoration method, by the way. You need to know your setup time. You need to know your average run time, and you need to know your takedown time. So those three things, you really need to understand that. And you also need to understand how fast you do things, right? How fast can you print? How fast can you embroider? What are your average times it looks like? And if you know these basic bits of information, it really helps you understand your schedule, because you can look at your orders that you're taking and go, this is an hour, this is 30 minutes, this is 4 hours and 27 minutes, or whatever it is. And then you can book jobs onto the correct machine on the correct date in advance, and you can book up the day so you don't overbook. Right? So if you understand your basic averages, and you don't really need high-tech tools, a legal pad, measuring some stuff. Now, I've got my production tracker app. If you want to get into all that, you don't need that. If you just want to just test some stuff out, right? If you really want to do it, let's talk. But it's one of these things where you really need to understand these KPIs, because that's going to help you build out your production schedule. And what I recommend is you take an order. Let's say we take an order today, right? Tomorrow, we're going to look at everything that was sold. And then what we want to do is we want to book it so the production is 100% complete one business day before it's supposed to ship. And then we work backwards from that based on the size and the complexity of the order. And that really helps you build that out. And if you do a good job with this, a week or two in advance, do you need overtime? Do you need to outsource some stuff? What does it so full you can't add another job, and you can tell sales to, instead of like a 10-day turn time, it's now 14. This stuff, right? Instead of just dogpiling on production and like having everybody go crazy. So really understanding your math, understanding what you're about, how long things take. And then if you know this basic stuff, then you can work to optimize things. How can we do it faster? How can we do it better? What do we need to get into, right? This is where all this starts, is just really understanding the process of what you do, and that can help you, right? So, Alan, have you got any thoughts on this topic?
Yeah, and I think a lot of scheduling, we always think of scheduling of the jobs and it's on the front end. But once you have that down, Marshall, now you can know it, especially important now as supply chains can be a little weirder. They're getting better and stuff, but you're still having to get garments in from all over. So once you have your front end scheduling done, now you're going to start on where it is. And then what are you going to do on production? When are screens going to be made? This is all part of scheduling. When is artwork going to be done? When are screens going to be made? Do you have enough screens coded and everything going to be ready? Do you have the right color inks? Do you have everything kit packed, ready to go? Oh my gosh, we ran out of palette tape. Nobody told us. This is all part of scheduling on there, and it flows down. If you don't have the front end done, doesn't matter on the back end. You keep going.
And then what are you waiting on? Okay. Yep. How many shops have you been to, Alan, where they need a certain mesh and they don't have enough screens and they have to like clean and do the whole thing? And so what happens is they have a different type of mesh sitting right there. And so the screen room guy picks the wrong one. And now we have all these other issues on press because the mesh that they need to use is either too low or too high or whatever. And so it doesn't work out, right? So
or they're busy trying to reclaim screens, trying to get them dried, trying to get them coated. And then there's always a mess. You're moving too fast. You're trying and rushing. And that's where you're going to tear a screen. That's where you're not going to do something correctly. And that's where you're going to have a problem. That screen isn't dried correctly. It's not exposed correctly because you're moving too fast and you're going to have problems on there because you did not schedule.
Yeah. How long does it take to do things properly?
Yep.
Right? If something takes 5 minutes, it takes 5 minutes, right? To do it right. Right. You can't do it in a minute and a half sometimes.
What about if you have multiple embroidery machines on there and then all of a sudden, oh, this is a very thick Carhartt coat. Well, that not all of them can handle something that thick on there. Do you have the right stroke length? Do you have production time on it? Do you have the needles for it? Do you have the color thread that's needed? Do you have the right type of thread? On there it's needed. Do you have backing? Oh, nobody told us we were out of tearaway. We have cutaway, not the same.
Yeah, right. So there's a lot of things in this, and it gets complicated quickly, right? And so really just thinking about scheduling, it's really understanding your math and making really good decisions. Right. And how I like to think about it is the front part of the building, right? It are like the architects that are designing designing the job. And what we want is the back part of the building, production, we're executing what the plan was. Right. So if you think about it that way, and what we need is to understand what we're capable of, what we should be doing, what do we need, let's solve these problems together. It isn't a combative relationship. We're a team, right? But what happens a lot of times is sales and customer service will overbook stuff and just shove it into production. And now production has to figure out how to do everything. Mm-hmm. And it's just a giant finger pointing, screaming match sometimes. And it doesn't need to be that way. Right. And I've talked to lots of shops, and there's always this front of the house, back of the house kind of tension. Mm-hmm. And because neither one understand what these people do. Right. And so the more you can break down those barriers and really act as a team, the better company you're going to have and build. Right.
When you're a one-person shop, you can probably handle a little bit easier, but you get more than one person doing everything. Man.
So let's talk about that. You're a one-person shop. So you're doing everything. So what this means more than anything is that when are you going to be doing this stuff? Right. Yeah. So it's really good if you map out your process. Yep. Like I've talked to people who don't have a lot of people in their shops. And so we print on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do screens and artwork and whatever on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or some sort of something like that. There is a cadence and a rhythm to what we do.
Yep.
And I like that. We always know what we do. And maybe you burn screens and reclaim and stuff in the morning, and then maybe in the afternoon you're doing something else, but we're always doing it the same time, the same way. And that way it's more predictable. I think if instead of just like you're all over the map all the time, floundering, right? Have a routine, have a schedule. That's going to help you be more predictable and be consistent about how you're doing things.
Yep. Cadence and rhythm. I love that term. I just wrote it down because I'm going to use that somewhere. I don't know where, but you know what? The best person that ever had the best cadence and rhythm of their shop, I think, was Greg Kitson at Mind's Eye.
Yeah.
There was a cadence and a rhythm to everything they did all the time, whether it's 24 pieces or 2,400 pieces.
But he tracked he knew his numbers. He tracked all this, right? So,
Yep.
all right. So Hurley says about the HTV, it works well. Top of the brick 600 to create an embossed look.
Yeah,
Great.
it's not Citar Caesar. And make sure when you're doing HTVs on top of each other, most of them you can do and stack and tack them, but make sure they're all they're compatible. A few of them.
And he prints at night and do everything else at night. So basically, you're a vampire, right? You're just doing everything at night.
We talked about, and you can do that for a while, but it will come up to bite you eventually. So you need even more processes, and we talked about that. After the show.
All right, cool. Well, hey, we're going to run out of time here, so we got one last thing to talk about, which is shop hygiene. Okay, and I think it's really important to keep things clean, right? And to work clean and to do things properly. I know you've been in lots of shops, and I've been in shops that are just like, what are you people thinking? And there's ink on the floor, and it's a giant mess, and it's whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so I think the shops, they're their top end, right? Their surgical room clean.
Correct.
Right. And they have a process, and they work behind, like if you mess something up, you get ink on the side of the bucket, or you drip something on the floor or the press arm, you clean it up.
Right away. Yep.
You're right away. And then you look at stuff, their presses are clean. They might have a 15-year-old press. It looks brand new.
Yep.
Right. And this is the same in embroidery, right? And we're a very lint driven business, right? You sometimes, I've been to shops and it looks like they're using a sheep to print with. It's like, what happens is that fuzzball, one is flammable, but it also gets down into the ink, and that creates that little spot that doesn't print on the screen. And now you got this issue that just magnifies out of control, all because we don't have time to clean, right? We're too busy to clean, right?
Right.
Let me tell you, you pay me now, you pay me later, right? Something's going to happen, and it's because of, you got ink everywhere, and now you tracked it into your office, or you got it on your pants, and now you brushed up against some shirts. Now you got to blow out the sleeves, and it's a never-ending problem, right? So it's better just to have the leadership to insist that, hey, here's how we're going to work. This is the expectation, and we train on that, right? And if you don't fit that mold, then maybe you don't work here, right? So,
you know what? And we talk about it all the time. Apparel decorating shops make a huge amount of one thing, and it's not prints, it's not garments, it's not decorations. They make lint.
Yeah, well,
plain and simple.
You open the shirts up, and the lint goes up, and then it all collects. And here's why, this is a reason number 583 not to use spray tack, right? So
exactly. Even it gets in on automatics, it gets into your cylinders, it just destroys the machines. On manuals, it gets into your springs, it gets into your lifts, and it's just a brutal.
Right. So William says, I did Kitson's class at SJ Atlanta a few years ago, learned a ton. Yep. And lint, so much
lint. Exactly.
Yep. Right.
Clean it off.
Yeah. Mark says the only thing worse than a dirty shop are excuses as to why.
Yep.
And then Shaw says cleaning immediately is included in all SOPs. No ink dripping down the sides of buckets or on the press. Exactly. You're my hero, Sean. Thank you for commenting. Love that. So anything, and of course, this isn't everything. It's not just with screen printing, right? This could be embroidery. This could be DTG. I've been to shops where the pre-treatment fluid was leaking down into the machine, right?
Yeah.
What do you think that's going to cause, right? Or
and especially Marshall just locked up. Especially you still there,
properly, Marshall? Right? There is no shortcuts.
Right. Especially in other things when you have DTG.
Still here.
Yep, I got you. When you use DTG, those print heads and stuff, you want to keep things clean. Anytime you're using a digital anything does not enjoy lint in them. So you've got to keep your workspace clean. Same thing with embroidery. I have been in shops that are doing embroidery, and there are pieces of backing everywhere on the floor. Are you kidding me? You're asking for someone to slip and fall and kill themselves.
Yeah. Right.
And let's get it going.
Yeah.
So shop hygiene is that. When you have a clean shop, you're going to have that. You know, when I see a filthy shop, that tells me your quality's got to be ridiculous.
Right.
You know, you're gonna have a reject rate. And there are shops. I'm not going to mention their name. There is a shop that I have been into, and it is still nightmares. I never want to go in there again. It's the worst shop in the world. It was awful.
Yeah, well, it's just the leadership of the company, right? So
it is, and it's huge. It's a big shop. It's just it's screen print hell. It's where bad screen printers go. They have to do patents in there, I think.
Yeah, right.
It's awful.
All right, so let's wrap up. What are you doing this weekend, Mr. Howe?
I'm getting a haircut today. I think I'm probably going to try to go fishing Saturday. I've not done that this year. Go out to my dad's pond and cast around a little bit since it's nice out. Enjoy the sunshine. I am going to start laying stuff out and get ready to pack for my overseas. Over 2 weeks going to be gone. So, yeah.
How many suitcases are you bringing?
I will bring two. One big one, and then a smaller carry-on one, and then my backpack for my computer.
Right. Okay.
So I'm not bringing my camera and my microphones and stuff overseas. So when I log on, it'll just be my laptop, and we'll see what happens.
I can't wait. This is our first international experiment. It's either going to work or it won't.
Yeah, because when we had Dan Solomon on, he was here in the States.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm talking about me and you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So
it's going to be fun, right? We got some comments, so let's get to those, and then we're going to log off. So Sean says, I bet GSG has some training videos on how to maintain and clean the very expensive equipment that you have purchased and want to keep running rather than breaking down.
And they do have a video. I remember Mr. Soldonic doing it on their automatic. So take a look at that.
So we keep our transparency printer in a leak-free room as far as the shop as possible, so no problems arise.
Good.
Glenn's going to bed. Hey, good night.
Glenn, thank you so much.
Thanks for the show. Great show. And then Ron's been here the whole time. Didn't say hello. So remember, it's called fishing, not catching.
It is. And I enjoy it, even if I'm not catching anything, because I'm outside and just enjoying it. That's when you know you love the sport. So, Ron, I'm looking forward. It'll be a good day. It's always a good day, man.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate your time. We'd love to hear from you. If we can help you with anything, please reach out to us. Let me show that. Here's Alan's email address.
Yep.
Hey, how an easy way. And here's mine, which is, mine, which is just my name. So we'd love to help you guys.
Look what Mark Soldonic posted before we leave.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. Gotta do Jeep things and smoke some ribs. Great.
All right.
And then Sean says, have a great weekend. Ron says, haven't been here. Catch the replay. Hey, no problem, Ron. We love you anyway, buddy.
Marshall, real quick, let's give a shout out. We did our 100 episodes a few weeks ago or a few months ago. Our buddies Dylan and Andy from the Shirt Show just had their 100th episode. I watched it, and they had Scott on. So congratulations, guys. We know what an achievement that is. So
yeah, it is. It's a big deal. So all right, everyone. We'll catch you guys later. Have a great weekend.
Have a great
weekend. See you next week. All right. Bye.